Well, there seems to be a little lull in my fishing action right now, so I thought I'd tell you a story that happened to me the other day. Actually, I'm kind of lying. There hadn't been any action today, not yet. But I wanted to tell you a story. I was fishing on this same beach, fishing that way, up there. And I was waiting for the tide to change. I wanted to fish an incoming tide. So nothing happened for about an hour. Low tide changed, slack time came. All of a sudden, here comes the high tide. Yes, that's what I've been waiting on. So I got lines in the water, and I'm standing there, and this inlet where I'm at, on high tide or low tide, the water is absolutely ripping. I mean, woo, like the Colorado River, baby. You don't want to get caught in it. So the water was ripping. I had a bait, tide switched, incoming tide, that's what I wanted. All of a sudden I see my rod bump a little bit. So I watched it, and then all of a sudden my rod just slowly just goes real slow, like I was stuck in a time warp. So I go over, I grab my rod, and man, it feels like there was a damn refrigerator rolling on the bottom of the inlet, and that's what I hooked. Slow, steady. Something's pulling it, and it's heavy. Pulling, line was reeling out, kind of like Jaws. When the reel is going like tick, 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 tick. Just a slow pull. Good Lord, whatever it is, it's heavy. It's not making a run. Nothing. Very unusual. Watching the reel is almost like watching Jaws. Remember when the reel just clicked and started doing that real slow? That's what it reminds me of. Good God, feels like a Volkswagen on the other end, a refrigerator. Mine was a little faster than that. I think I might have a clip of that. And of course, during all this action, my camera went out, so didn't catch the good part. I have to look around and make sure that those rods are okay. So I start walking this thing down the beach. Now I did turn around and check. My kayak was about where it's at now, a little more out of the water. You can see that. My kayak was a little bit higher. No water was reaching my kayak. I'm very careful about stuff like that. So I thought, okay, everything's cool. I'll walk whatever this thing is down the beach. I'm gonna go walk down the beach and see if I can recover some of this line. I got about 100 yards and I can't budge this thing. I'm figuring it's a massive ray. That's all it could be. I couldn't budge it. I was pulling. This is really weird. There it is, he's pulling. When you get stuff like that, reminds you of a stingray. Sometimes I don't even think they know they're hooked sometimes, and they're just swimming along and they don't even realize it. And they're on the bottom. In the video, you can see where I slightly glanced back to look at the kayak, and right here I've magnified it. At that point, it was still okay. I wasn't worried about it. But if you look close, that water had already started getting closer. Man, whatever's on this line, and I don't know if I got a good enough equipment, strong enough equipment. It is big. God, it's just lazy. I don't think it knows it's hooked. Good Lord, look at that. It's just taking line. I can't get that line back, it's too big. Oh. There it is. It has no idea it's hooked. If it knew it was hooked, it'd make a run, and there ain't nothing I could do to stop it. I can't get any line back. Doing everything, I'm trying to make it mad. It wouldn't do anything. This lady comes by, she starts talking to me, and you know, she's going, oh my God, I see you're, you know, you fighting this big fish. What is it? So I said, well, here, I'd been fighting it forever. I said, here. I handed her the rod. I said, feel what a big fish feels like. She's, you know, oh my God, oh my God. Well, while I was talking to her, I was looking back up that way. I was looking, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my kayak turn sideways. Holy crap. I take off running. I said, just hold the rod. And I take off running. I'm 100 yards away. And water in the 15-20 minutes had reached the kayak. Couldn't believe it. So I'm running up there towards it. I'm going like, please, 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 please don't move, don't move, don't move. And as I got to the kayak, as I literally, the last foot, I mean, stepped and touched the kayak free floated in massive current. There was a small ledge that I could put, I think, my left foot on and reach over and try to grab the kayak, that ledge, and then it was a pure drop off. I have no idea how deep it was, but I knew that if I went over that ledge with a kayak, we're both gone, and I'm not in my kayak, I'm hanging on at worst case scenario. So I grabbed the kayak, pulling it towards me. A couple waves come, smashed the kayak into me, smashes it into my right hip where I was recovering from a muscle pull about 2 months earlier. Damn thing didn't want to heal. Well, it re-injured that. I'm pulling, and I finally got the kayak out of the water. Dragged it up on the beach. It was like a battle. It was like, you know, David and Goliath. The ocean and my kayak were Goliath, and I was desperately fighting, because if I lost that kayak, let me tell you what would have happened. Okay, so let me tell you what I think was the only good thing. The only good thing is that it was an incoming tide, and it would have probably just pushed my kayak further inland. Had I not seen it, I would have probably been sitting there fighting that big fish, ray, whatever it was, and my kayak would have probably floated right in front of me. That's probably what would have happened. But the scenario is if it would have gone down through this inlet, there's like a T intersection up here where it meets the intercoastal waterway. So my kayak at that point would have gone left, right, or straight. Had it gone straight, there's nothing but a rock wall, giant rock wall. The waves would have battered the kayak and destroyed it. I could have never got to it. I would have had to get to my kayak from here, not going in the water after it. Maybe if I'd have flagged down a boater, they might have helped me. But literally to go to where my kayak would have been from here and getting a vehicle to get there, it would have been 20 plus miles to to get there. The other scenario is I floated with the kayak. The good thing is that maybe the rudder would have turned itself left or right and it would have beached me, eventually just kind of a big banana curve and beached me. The other possible scenario, and one that I would hope that I would have thought of had it happened to me. Of course, you think of it afterwards, but while it's actually happened, would I have thought of it? Well, probably so, due to the fact that I have a superior brain. You guys know that. So I would have probably immediately thought that. I've got the Texas Power Paddle motor, and I could have turned that motor on while I'm hanging and floating on the side, use the rudder, and turn that thing right back into the beach, right here. So I'm hoping that's what I would have actually thought of. But it was a really nasty, exhausting situation that there was so much action in just 2 minutes. It was like, I cannot believe this is happening. And then I got hurt after, and what pissed me off about that is I think I was within days of the thing healing, because it was getting better, it was aggravating, but it was getting better. And then all of a sudden, right after that happened, first thing I noticed when I started walking, I went, oh crap, I re-injured that hip. That was about a week ago. It's doing much better. I think it's on the verge of another healing if I can keep my kayak out of the water today, but I am keeping a close eye on it. So there you go. That was the action that I had about a week or so ago. And even though I was careful, even though there's no moral to the story, I'm not going to oh, well, you guys should learn from my lesson. No, I did everything right. It's just that tide came in a lot quicker than I expected and just about got me. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you were taking a nap during this little story, I hope you enjoyed your nap. All right, I'm Adventure Steve, and I'll see you next time.